Hi guys, it's Matty, and obviously you're watching this video if you're a fan of the Vel Satis, or if you just like the soothing tones of my slightly diluted Scouse voiceover voice. If you haven't yet watched the Vel Satis review that I've done, obviously you know it's a very rare car, so go ahead and watch that. So this is all the paperwork that Tom's got. This press cutting is actually quite interesting because it's advertising the lowest spec expression model at £20,735, but not long after that advert went out, Renault realised they're not going to sell any of these and subsequently dropped the price. So if you were one of the first people to buy a Vel Satis, if you'd waited a year or so, you could have saved yourself £3,000. Well, here we have an article from the Sunday Times from all the way back in 2005. It was written by Jason Daw, who was originally a presenter of the new Top Gear when it was rebooted in 2002. By 2005, though, when he was writing about the Vel Satis, he'd been replaced by James May. So in the column, he's talking about how much of a flop the Vel Satis was, obviously, but also how much of a good car it was, but more importantly, how much of a bargain it was on the used car market. According to this table here on the newspaper cutout, if you'd have bought a Vel Satis brand new on an 04 plate in 2004, by 2005 it would have lost 50% of its value. So they were going around 10 grand Partex, and if you'd have paid 20 with the price that we saw on the advert just before, then you'd have lost 50% of the value of your car. With regards to problems, obviously electrical issues, especially the Initial model that I tested, everything is electrically operated, and with this being a French car, you can expect some electrical issues. Also, I know Hubnuts mentioned this, but the automatic gearboxes in particular are very fragile on the Vel Satis, so that can be an expensive job if that goes wrong. A very Vel satisfied customer. So this is the story of one man who's owned two Vel Satises, like Tom, and his quest to get a second one, on his quest to get a first one in the first place. It was about how difficult it was to get a Vel Satis when it first came out, and how difficult it was to buy one used, because round about the time that Jason Dahl wrote that column about buying one used, they were still very in demand then. I think they've always been quite hard to get hold of, because they never sold any in the first place, and the ones that they sold to people were very pleased with them and wanted to hold on to them. We come now to the bit that we've all been waiting for, I suppose, and that is the brochures. Now, if I'd have paid more attention in school, I would have been able to read the Vel Satis brochure that Tom has that is in French. Some of the pictures are just out of this world, and you could really see what Renault were going for. They were trying to deter people from going for the regular saloon, and I suppose selling them the space that you can get in the package that they had made, but I don't even think they knew what it was. It's a bit of a game of Where's Wally. We're just looking at the pictures. I mean, I can't speak French, and that's why I don't, but it'd be a good time while we're looking at these pictures to talk more about the design. I mean, we know it's wacky, we know it's quirky. Renault themselves described it as daring at the time. But one of the big flaws of this car was that the boot space at the time, it beat all of the boot space in the mini MPVs, which was a trend that erupted at the time. But the Vel Satis was going up against executive cars like the Mercedes S-Class, and when it came to that, it had a smaller boot than the S-Class. So even though the looks would stop people from considering it as an executive car, if people did get as far as the dealership and boot space was a priority, they'd soon realise that the German cars that they love so much had a bigger boot than the Vel Satis. So it was sort of a car that was neither here or there. The size of the doors alone tells you the Vel Satis opens up a new dimension in luxury motoring, and I suppose it did. Tom said to me that when the Queen visited France, the Vel Satis was the only car that she could get in that she didn't have to take her hat off because the headroom was so good. So that's a little bit of trivia for you if you're interested. You'll very rarely see one of them in your mirror. 3 different types of wood and then 2 sort of carbon fibre-y types. I could be wrong here, but this sort of carbon fibre-y plastic here looks like the same type that they used on the Clio and the Megane. The doors' strong aluminium frames also offer outstanding protection against side impacts. The Vel Satis, one of the first cars to achieve a 5-star Euro NCAP safety rating, and back then Renault were unbeaten basically. All of their cars that they released did have a 5-star Euro NCAP safety rating. I love them seats. Beautiful. Lovely comfortable seats. You can tell that there's a fair bit of money's gone into them. Very sturdy, very comfortable, very nice, and in cream leather. That's the way to go, I think. A world first, the great comfort seat fitted with a 2-part backrest, an integrated seat belt, ergonomically designed, generously proportioned and beautifully made. These 3-section seats follow curves of your body to provide unprecedented comfort. Vel Satis engines, each has its own magic, each makes its own music. So you got the 2 litre, the 3 litre, and was that a 2.2 there? Yeah, you could have had the 3.5 litre V6 as well. Immensely flexible and combines the spirited performance appropriate to a grand touring car with commendably modest fuel consumption. I mean, that's one way to put it. Modest. I think you're being a bit kind to yourselves there, Renault. You then simply slide the wheel to insert the card into the reader. No key is needed. Well, it is a key. Basically, isn't it? I don't know what that Renault credit card key was. I mean, I suppose it looked cool when it was new, but it wasn't. It was too thick to go in your wallet. All of these colours, I've only ever seen this colour, and I've only ever seen it in black. There is no reason why a saloon car should be built on a 3-box principle. Very true. There is no reason why familiar natural materials such as wood and leather should not be used in ways different from those in which they have always been used before. I don't think I've ever seen any different uses of the leather on the Vel Satis. There is no reason why the passengers in a luxury car should not derive as much enjoyment from the journey as the driver does. There is no reason why exhilarating performance should not go hand in hand with economy and environmental accountability. I don't know about that, Renault. There is no reason why any motorist should buy a German car in order to enjoy the highest standards of panel fit and overall build quality. I mean, the build quality in the Vel Satis wasn't as good as Germans, but it was up there. French are gunning for the Germans here with this little Martin Luther King style speech. There is, in short, no reason why a car designed to appeal to embody the traditional virtues of a luxury car should be or look remotely like the stereotypical luxury car. Buy a Vel Satis and you are guaranteed a source of conversation. You definitely are. The main conversation being, bloody hell, look at the arse on that. We'll just stick to the interior comfort and convenience in the bottom spec expression. You got 15-watt CD radio, climate control, electric rear windows, front one-touch electric windows with anti-pinch facility, heat-reflecting windscreen, height and reach adjustable leather steering wheel, tinted windows, folding seats. I mean, it was luxury, but there wasn't a lot of toys. To be honest, there was a big option list here. Could have had a sunroof, heated door mirrors, heated seats, all the stuff that you kind of got on the higher models. The most expensive option is £2,450, and that's for rear seat DVD players and sun blinds. Onto the privilege, that was the mid-spec of the 3. Again, just sticking to interior comfort and convenience. The vanished maple wood dashboard and door inserts. Electric front seats, front and rear carpet mats, xenon headlamps, parking proximity sensor. I'm assuming that is parking sensors. And that is it for the Privilege, the Initial, which is Tom's. And what you got there was 18-inch alloy wheels, chrome door handles, electricity folding heated door mirrors with memory, all very posh and very advanced. Alderwood with walnut marquetry dashboard and door inserts. This is too posh for me. Navigation system, that was the key thing. You only got nav on the top spec model. Heated screen wash, part wood, part leather geared knob, auto versions only. Rear window sun blinds, electric and heated front seats with memory on the driver's side, and perforated leather upholstery. Very nice. So there we go, a look through some press cuttings, memorabilia and brochures of the Renault Vel Satis. A very nice car, and I don't think the market just understood it enough for it to be a success. This was my first time doing the brochure sort of thing, so I hope it wasn't too awful. I hope you enjoyed it. A little look at one of the rarest modern cars definitely on the road today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.